Hello, my favorite people in the whole wide world. I'm going to read you a story that's been around a long time. Let me see when it was first published in 1955. That was a long time ago, like 70 years ago. It is called Harold and the Purple Crayon. This is Harold. And here's his purple crayon. And Harold has a great imagination. That means he uses his brain to think up all kinds of wonderful things. And he uses his crayon to draw up the things that he's imagining. It's written by Crockett Johnson. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. What is he doing? Looks like he's drawing a moon so that he can go for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so that he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. Oh, there's the moon. And he drew his path here, and he's going on a walk. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a short cut across a field, and the moon went with him. The short cut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. Can you see the apples in the apple tree? The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. Whoa, is that a scary dragon? Yes, big teeth. What do you think that dragon sounds like? Roar. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. Look, his hand shook and it looked like he made some water with his purple crayon. And it looks like he's falling into the water. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. Uh-oh, what's Harold gonna do? He came up thinking fast. What should he do? What does it look like he's drawing? What would you draw if you were in water and you couldn't swim very good? And in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. Would you draw a boat? That was very smart. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. You see, he's drawing some land here. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. Do you know what this is that he drew right here? That's called an anchor. That keeps the boat from floating away. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. Do you like to go on picnics? I do. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. Now, if you were going to draw a picnic lunch, what would you draw? Hmm, there was nothing but pie. Do you like pie? Harold loves pie. Look how many pies he drew. Let's count them. One, two, three, four, and he's drawing a fifth one there. And look at, he's got even more over here. It says, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold loved the best. He drew 9 pies. That's a lot of pies. What's your favorite kind of pie? Do you like pumpkin pie? Do you like cherry pie, apple pie, chocolate pie, or lemon pie? When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. Look at, he had a piece from every pie, and his tummy was full. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So what does it look like he's doing there? He's drawing something there. Let's see what he's going to draw. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. Look at, yeah, that moose looks hungry. Those are his ribs sticking out. He needs to eat. So he drew the moose and the porcupine, and they're going to finish up all the pies. Mmm. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. This is quite an adventure. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. Oh, look at. Look at this. Ooh, he's going very high, isn't he? If he went high enough, he thought he could see the window of his bedroom. Hmm. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. Boy, he is climbing up so high. But as he looked down over the other side, uh-oh, he slipped. Look. Oh no. And there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling into thin air. Uh-oh, what would you do if you were falling and you had a magic purple crayon? What would you draw? What do you think Harold is going to draw? But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. Look at, what do you think he's drawing right here? And he made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. Look at that balloon. That is a very special balloon. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. That is a hot air balloon. Have you ever seen a hot air balloon up in the sky with people in it? He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front of the house. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. Hmm. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. Wow, look at that. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Hmm. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. Hmm. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. See, he's drawing the policeman, and here the policeman is telling him where to go. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then, suddenly, Harold remembered. What do you think Harold remembered? He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. Hmm. It was always right around the moon. Look at that. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. Doesn't Harold have a good imagination? Yeah, I like that book. I remember reading this when I was little. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.